My arm, like, it did not make my arms and legs bulkier. The only time it will is if you're gaining body fat at the same time. But even then, somebody who has a higher body fat and is muscular, they carry it better. So that's another thing. When I was a higher body fat percentage. Hey guys! So today I want to talk to you guys about the concept of out-training a bad diet and the portion of that saying that's incorrect. So it's true to an extent, of course. If you want to lose body fat and you're training really hard but you're eating not so great, then yeah, you can't out-train that. You're not gonna lose body fat unless you're working out like obscene amounts, which I definitely don't recommend. So that part of it is true. If you want to lose body fat, you can't out-train a bad diet. However, it doesn't mean that you should stop working out. I feel like when people hear that phrase, they're just like, oh, you can't out-train a bad diet. I guess I just won't work out until I can get back on track and start eating properly. But that has its downfalls for a couple reasons. So one is it kind of gives the mentality that literally the only purpose of the gym is to look good. And one of my biggest sources of motivation for working out is how the gym makes me feel. Like, honestly, I would say that I actually care more about that than the appearance wise. I mean, of course I have physique goals. I love having physique goals. I think it's amazing what you can do with your body in the gym. It's so cool. Whoa, it's dark. You can, like, that's amazing. But the thing is, I think almost everyone that is in love with fitness says that the reason they love the gym so much is because of the mental release, the stress relief it provides them. So yeah, there's that. So even if your diet is bad, going to the gym is still giving you other benefits in terms of your mental health. And then there's covering the point where going to the gym, you can still work on other things. Like, you can still work on building strength and gaining muscle mass. And that is what I did, because I struggled with binge eating for like 10 plus years. I have another video about that. I'll put it in the info card thingy thing. I struggled really, really badly, and through a lot of that journey, I was super into lifting, and I wanted to eat well. I wanted to eat well so bad, but I just couldn't get my shit together because my methods were too restrictive, but that's not what we're talking about. But so throughout that time, I would eat really bad and I would gain a lot of body fat really quickly. I would feel like shit. I'd be embarrassed to go to the gym usually because I'd be scared that people would notice the fat gain. But I still went because, first of all, I knew the stress reliever benefits that it had, but also I fell in love with gaining strength. And when I did that, it contributed to my current physique. So Laura 5 years ago that was binging and struggling and eating a lot and rapidly gaining body fat, because she kept going to the gym, Laura now has more muscle and has a better metabolism and a better physique. So for that reason, even if you're majorly struggling with eating, you should still go to the gym. I have something stuck to my ankle because there's just so many other benefits. So when you're lifting heavy and you're gaining muscle, like I said, it speeds up your metabolism. If there was two of you and the one version of you had muscle and the other version of you did not have very much muscle, the muscular version of you is going to burn more calories than the non-muscular version. I definitely have seen that in myself for sure. As I've gained more muscle over the years and started training properly, I've been able to eat more calories and just see quicker results, and not in like a, oh, I'm rushing the results kind of thing, because that is the opposite of what I recommend. I never recommend rushing the results because it sets you up for failure. But because compound movements and lifting heavy is just so efficient, it does get you quicker results. Like, since I've gotten more muscle mass, I've noticed that even if I do fall off track for a bit, I bounce back. My body bounces back really, really quickly without me even really like doing any drastic measures to make it go back. So this means that even if your primary goal is fat loss, you should not neglect lifting heavy, because that's something people will say to me as well. They'll be like, oh, I see your program has a lot of heavy weight training. Is that good for fat loss? And absolutely. I had really bulky, like I carry a lot of fat in my arms and legs when I'm not lean. And for a bit, I was definitely afraid of lifting heavy because I was like, I feel like it's just gonna make it worse. And that was a mistake. Honestly, when I started regularly doing heavy weights, heavy compound movements, which I'll go over in my next video, just because I don't want this to get too long. When I started doing the heavy compound movements and lifting heavy, my arm, like, it did not make my arms and legs bulkier. The only time it will is if you're gaining body fat at the same time. But even then, somebody who has a higher body fat and is muscular, they carry it better. So that's another thing. When I was a higher body fat percentage, I didn't look bad because I had muscle. So like, that's actually the thing. Sometimes when I post my transformation pictures, like, I didn't feel comfortable in my before, but I definitely didn't look bad. It was more of like the like thick look, whatever. So people will, especially guys, will comment and be like, oh, you look better before. So like literally, it was like I was binging. I was like out of control eating, but because of my muscle mass and how that like tones you up, literally like makes you look more firm, because that's what tone is, it's muscle. Because of that, I carried fat more like, gracefully. Like, I still had decent ratios and stuff like that. There's just so many good reasons to keep lifting despite anything. But yeah, it's really gonna help with fat loss because it speeds up your metabolism. So really there's honestly just so many benefits to weight training. And another thing that I want to throw in here is that it takes a lot of work to get bulky and like too muscular. Like, I mean, yes, there's bulky in terms of you gaining body fat, but like to look like super jacked, like that's not going to happen by accident. It takes years and years of work and dedication. Like even the amount of muscle mass I have, that's been hard. And I don't think I'm like I'm pretty muscular, but I don't know. So it's not like you're gonna pick up a couple weights and accidentally get bulky muscular. I like the saying where if you learn to drive, you're not going to become a NASCAR driver. And same thing with weights. If you learn to lift weights or you start lifting weights, you're not going to become a bodybuilder. I saw this on my story yesterday. Somebody posted it and they were like, starting a business, or you would be like, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire, so I'm not going to start a business. It's like, well, it's not that freaking easy. And it's like, same thing with lifting. It's not that easy. So really lifting some weights, all it's going to do is shape your body, tone you up. We need to like come up with a different word for that. It's gonna reshape your body, give you curves. Like, that's the thing. I forgot. I literally thought that, because I'm pretty happy, like I like my body shape. My waist comes in and stuff. Well, that was partially a genetic thing. I was blessed with like a decent waist, but if I looked back to old pictures of me and I didn't have as nearly as good ratios. Like I just kind of looked more straight and I was like, whoa, that's insane. So you can change your body a lot with weight training, because when you add muscle, it just adds different illusions. Even if you're somebody with more of a blocky type of shape waist, if you build up your shoulders and you build up your glutes and your legs, like it's just gonna give the illusion of a smaller waist. Like I've seen some photos of people with some crazy different body shape transformations. I mean, I've seen some that are clearly false or lies or like not natural, but like naturally you can do a lot with weight training. So really, please do not be afraid of lifting. It's so good for you physically and mentally. I think it's really beneficial for women to want to be strong. We should not be like weak, frail creatures. Why is that the stereotype? I don't know. I want to be like a badass woman that can do anything. That is all I have to say. So whether you're struggling with eating well right now and wondering if you should keep working out, the answer is yes, you should. It's gonna help the future you, and when you look back, you're gonna be so freaking happy that you kept weight training. And then on the other hand, if you're just like, I want to lose body fat and I don't know if I should weight train and lift heavy, the answer is definitely yes as well, because it's gonna speed up the process and it's gonna make your transformation so much more dramatic, because you're gonna have that muscle, and like as the fat comes off, the muscle's gonna show and you're gonna look freaking bomb. So if you would like some more advice on this, I have got my free report, Knockout Body Formula, how to avoid the 3 common fat loss mistakes, and I touch on this topic and a lot more. This is a 38, actually I think it's 39. This is a 39-page report, and there's a lot of information in it. This is like a resource you can keep on hand throughout your fitness journey to refer to. It's, oh, I love it. I'm really proud of it. And there's also a audiobook version, so if you want to listen to it when you drive, gotta step over a log. If you want to listen to like when you drive or like doing errands or even when you're doing cardio, you could listen to it when you're working out. Oh my gosh, the options are endless. So there's a link below in the description box so you can get your copy of Knockout Body Formula, and I think that's it. Yeah, Knockout Body Formula will be delivered to you for free. A mosquito just hit me in the nose. Bye guys.